Welcome to Crazy Shit in Real Estate, a weekly podcast where I walk you through some of the wildest, most unbelievable stories you'll hear from the world of real estate. If you like real estate and you love crazy, this is the podcast for you. Before we get any further into this episode, I've got some information to share.
Oh, it's true. Real estate is super competitive and harder than you expected. That's why I created Leigh University. It's everything you need to take you from point A to point whatever your goal is. You could be new to the business or a seasoned vet. I'll help you break through to the next level so that your professional life can look exactly like you desire. Enroll in Leigh University today. I'll help you get there.
Yeah, so the first property was converting my first home to a rental, right? So I bought my first home. It was a 1971 Rambler. You know, it had vintage everything. It had the fiberglass carport. You couldn't park all the way in because the stairs were in the way. And you had the calico colored shag carpet and in green shag too. That one was so long, it would kill our vacuum cleaner.
You didn't vacuum that, Chris. Did you not know you raked shag?
I should have known. I should have chopped it. You know, like you had to do something to that thing.
That was a kid job when I was little. Rake the shag. You rake up like a quarter here and there and think you found all the money in the world.
Oh yeah, man. Those shag carpets were so long. Like we had a cat in the house, and I swear it was like the African bush, right? Like you just see this little tail bobbing through, the little green shag and stuff. So it was crazy stuff. You know, we even had the wallpaper. They had like the fuzzy designs on it.
Oh, the velvet wallpaper?
Oh, yeah.
I love that stuff. That stuff is golden now if you can find it. Of course, 3 feet tall, it gets rubbed off because little kids walk through a house like they're blind. It's fascinating.
Oh, yeah. Well, I felt it for a while, too. Then after a while, I was like, what am I doing? This stuff is gross. So we eventually replaced that. We even added a bedroom to make it a 4-bed, 2-bath. And then we got to the point of 2006, right? So everything's getting hot and money started coming more readily too. So I was ready to upgrade to a different house. We were having more kids and things like that. So I was like, all right, what am I going to do with this property? Well, there's a local real estate group. And of course, back then, everything was about being creative. Loans were easy to come by, right? You could do, especially with investment properties, you could pretty much do almost like zero down,
No doc, stated income.
Yeah, stated income, no doc. It was awesome. And I was a mortgage broker then too. So I remember those days, it was easy getting a loan. So what I did, it was my most creative deal, but it was also probably the dumbest deal I did too, right? So what I did is, because I bought it for less value when I bought it back in 2003. Now it was 2006. I'm looking to sell it. So I sold it to an investor with the agreement to lease it back, right?
Oh no.
So, because I wanted to get all the equity out so I could strip out the equity, go and invest that elsewhere. And so now I'm fully leveraged, it was like about 100, it was only 165,000, but I bought it for like 115, right? So I thought I was a hero. I thought I was a champ. Well, then of course I go to try to, do a lease option or start renting it out. I was the property manager, which was not a good thing. I rented it to somebody who lived a couple blocks away. I should have known when I went to her place that she was already trashing her apartment. Why wouldn't she do the same thing to my house, right? So, I left all the appliances there. I left the lawnmower there and everything just to, have it not fully furnished, but semi-furnished, right? Well, long story short, they stopped paying. They didn't keep the place clean. A year later, and I'm not the kind of guy to be a jerk. Like I like to be more a friendly guy. So I finally just had to say, you got to get out. Like you haven't been paying consistently and I need you out now. So finally kicked them out. By the way, they were on government support. That was the thing. Half their rent payment was coming from government support and they still couldn't make the payments. Well,
would it make the payments? We should probably clarify. Some people that can won't.
But they don't.
So let's just say they wouldn't make the payment.
Exactly. Yeah, there's always an excuse, always a story, right? And of course, I would go for the sob stories for a while. Eventually, it was just a nightmare. And of course, now it's 2008 by about this time, right? So the market's already tanking. I go and put up a for sale by owner sign. I hadn't walked through it yet until somebody immediately called on it, wanting to look at the property. So the first time I walked through the property after evicting them was in that moment with those buyers, which is another bad no-no, right? And again, for sale by owner didn't help either. So anyways, I'm walking them through and I see there's pizza stuck to the carpet. This is in the middle of winter too. So it's kind of gross. There's holes in the sheetrock. They had stolen appliances and my lawnmower. So they stole everything. So the funny thing is the guy was very handy that lived there, but he wasn't handy inside the house. And there was food on the walls. It was just disgusting. The only thing that stood up was the thing I told him not to do, was have a dog, which was a dog house that he had built. And when we tried to have 1-800-GOT-JUNK to destroy it, it was almost impossible. The thing was so well built, but they trashed the house. Like that was the best part of the house now. Luckily, I was able to almost break even. Like other than some of those costs, I was able to get out from under it. But man, it was just a nightmare. And it actually scared me from doing rentals until about 2015, 2016. I was pretty much like, I'll be done, and that's when I started going more the turnkey route of, hey, let somebody else property manage. I'm going to buy in better areas, not buy in a place where I'm fully leveraged, not buy in a place like in this Western half of the United States where rentals stink anyways, like more out east, like Southeast or Midwest is where I've been more buying rentals now.
Oh, you're enjoying this little clip? Well, the rest of the story is available on any of your podcast apps. Just go search for and subscribe to Crazy Shit in Real Estate with Leigh Brown.